In this episode of Growing Your Sense of Self Through Self-Defense, we're going to be doing face falls. Now, a face fall is not a fall on the face. It's falling with the front of the body, the face of the body, oriented towards the ground. It's the most common type of fall. Stumble, you get pushed from behind, you go forward and fall. When falling, the goal is to minimize the risk of getting hurt. If you can fall however many times you fall, you never get hurt, it's not a big deal to fall. In fact, it could be even fun. It's like a little bit of a ride that you're doing. So that's the goal. And to meet the goal, there's two general principles. First one is to disperse the energy, the impact, out over space and time. The second one is to protect the vital organs and the organs or the parts of the body that are more susceptible to being damaged, like joints. So think if I was falling forward, face fall, it would not be a good idea to break my fall with my head or my face, or that's a vital organ. Or if I were to lock my arm at the shoulder, elbow, and wrist and finger and try to break my fall by landing on the tip of my finger. Very small area, and with all these locked joints, very short amount of time over which the energy is going to be dispersed. If someone were to drop a block of ice from, say, 5 feet above your head onto your head, likelihood is you'd be hurt. However, the same amount of water poured from a bucket 5 feet above your head, which is dispersing the impact over time and space, it's not a big deal, and in fact may be even pleasurable depending on your temperature, the temperature of the water. Think of a steel pipe. Somebody had a steel pipe and they swung it hard and hit you with it. Well, wherever they hit, it's likely to be damaged. However, if they, with a giant pillow, that's the same weight as the pipe, much larger surface area, and it's compressible. If they swung that with the same amount of force, the likelihood is you wouldn't be hurt. So that's dispersing impacts out over space and time, and we know this from experience. We know that that's what we want to do. When we're doing a face fall, as I said, the tendency tends to be people try to stop themselves this way, which is short amount of time, locking in the joints, likelihood of a wrist or an elbow or a shoulder energy. What we want to do is receive the ground, as if someone was throwing a ball to us, football, basketball. You could think of gravity as throwing the ground to you. You want to receive it, right? Somebody throws you a ball, you don't lock your arms with stiff hands and try to catch it, right? That's bored hands. You want to be caressing of the ball coming in, spreading your hands around the ball as it comes in, which is increasing this area in which you're making contact, and pulling your arms back or letting them coil back. That's soft hands. That makes for a good receiver, a good catch. That's what we want to do with the earth, the ground, as it comes to us. So from my frame of reference, that ground's coming at me. Other people might see me going to the ground, but it's coming to me. I want to catch the ground. I want to receive the ground. So how I receive that is I get my arms out and start to make contact. As I start to make contact, I start to sort of collapse my arms a little bit, start to disperse that energy out over larger parts of my body, and starts to slow me down, extending the impact over time. So I'm going to be doing it with triangles. Triangles with my hands, triangles with my arms, my feet, my legs will be spayed, and then I'll have a triangle in the third dimension as my butt comes up, which is like a shock absorber. So think of triangles. Now, you can catch the ground this way with your hands, but the tendency is you're going to try to catch it this way and jam the wrist, and you won't be able to slide down. So I suggest that first, when you first start trying, catch it with your ridge. This is a smaller area than this, and this part of your arm is a smaller area than that. However, you can't just catch it this way. You're going to necessarily roll down. So it's good to get in that habit of catching over space, over time, by letting your arms collapse. Once you get a little comfortable with that, go ahead and rotate your hands this way. This is a better way to do it. You're, like I say, more surface area. If you can, keep in mind to let those wrists not get locked, but to let the arms fall down. That's a better way of doing a face fall. And then the last piece of it is turn your head to a side. This is the vital organ that may touch. See, the other thing about the shock absorber, the butt up in the air, keeps your vital organs that are in your chest away from hitting the ground. So you can try, for instance, with a stiff body, and try that and see how not so cool when you come down a little bit harder, a little bit faster. you're at risk of not damaging for the low face falls that we're going to be doing, but you could see that, oh, I felt that. If that's a little bit higher, yeah, that could hurt. I wouldn't want to do that. So you can start with this, collapse that. You can move to this once you get comfortable and consistent with falling this way. And we're going to fall at a low distance. Now, when I gave the example of getting hit with the pillow, that compression that goes on, that's why we like to fall on soft surfaces. Right, so I'm going to do grass today. It's a pretty thick lawn. You can fall on a thick carpet. You could put pillows down to fall on those. You can go on a mattress until you get a little bit comfortable. And then mats, if you've got gymnastics mats, something that has some give to it. And the more give, obviously, it's the more it's dispensing the energy out over time, and the less risk of being hurt. So let me adjust the camera and I'll show you some face falls. So in a low face fall, we're going to start from our knees and catch the ground, receive the ground, and yield on our arms to disperse the impact out over space and time. So it's like so. The expulsion of air, the sound, also disperses energy out over time and space, because this is the compression of the lungs as one exerts that or expels that air. So again, receiving the ground. If you notice, triangles with the hands, triangles with the arms, triangles with the legs, and a triangle in the third dimension, my butt sticking up in the air. This is called a low face fall. We're just going from the knees to the ground. It's a nice way to start to develop body muscle memory. Once more. Dog poop. If you're going to do this on the grass, you want to make sure the area is clean before you do it. I'm going to move inside and do them. All right, so I moved inside. Less wind. Less, you know what? But you could use a carpet as well as padding for instead of a mat or the grass. But you can also, when you're first starting, use throw pillows or something. Put them where your forearms will be making contact. And I have two, one for each, where each arm's going to go. Remember, if you put your hands this way, you got to make sure you relax with them. This way it's easy to remember to relax. So I'm going to receive the ground. Gravity's throwing me the ground. Hit! Again. Hit! Notice the triangles, my hands, my arms, my legs, my butt up in the air. Once more with the pillows. Hit! All right, now we'll do without the pillows, just use the carpeting. Whitty! Whitty! Come here, Whitty. Come on. Did you do that? Did you do that? All right, I'm going to have to go to the school to do this. I can't avoid this stuff. All right, good girl. Not for that, though. So we're at Flying Tiger. That's the school that I go to for training in Hapkido. And we're here with a good friend, Mr. Brian. So he's going to demonstrate low face falls, and I'm going to sort of analyze for what he's doing. So we talked about he's going to receive the ground. He's going to reach forward, receive the ground, extend the impact out over time and space. Go ahead. Yep. See, and he lets out the air. That's the noise. So you see there's a triangle with the hands, with the arms. His legs are spayed. He's got his butt up in the air. Okay, good. Do it again. Yep. Right. See, he's able to hold his hands this way, but still move the impact up along his arms. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So we want to go to now middle. That's a low face fall. Don't move to this next step until you have the low one down. So in the middle one, what we'll do is stand on let's stand on this line. You want to kick back. He's going to start from standing, but he's going to be bent down a little bit. Right? It's not a high jump. It's just to get his feet out of the way. So he's going to lift his feet enough to kick him back, but he's not going to jump forward. So where his belt is, which is basically on this line, that belt's going to stay there. He's going to be in that face fall position, but he's not going to be forward, he's not going to be backward, he's going to just go straight down. Center of gravity does not move. Okay. Yep. So see, and you can see now the butt's more pronounced up because he's not on his knees anymore, but that's a good position to be in. And his center of gravity has not moved, it's in the same spot, right? So go ahead, stand up again. Do again. Yep. Good. There, good. Very nice. Okay. So I'm going to try one. I'll do right over here. Hey. Is that your boy?
Looks like it.
Ryder!
Yes, sir.
Did you dump over here?
Just a little bit.
Can you pick it up?
Just work around it.
Okay, we'll work around it. Good. All right. That'll be my marker. You can use a line. If you don't have a line at home, just put something on the floor between you. Since my core, my gut's going to be raised, it's not going to squish it. Hit! Right over it. Okay? Once more. Hit! Then turn in the head, right, so the face don't hit. All right. Ryder, you're going to have to pick that up then.
Ryder, go get it.
Brian. Good job.
Thanks, sir.
All right, thanks. Next time, toodles.